It's the Call of Duty circus and it's coming to your town. We've diving, flying acrobats and such capricious clowns. So hook up to a server, grab a seat and gather round. 'Cause the Call of Duty circus is coming to your town. Roll up and see the amazing moving statue sneak attack. He waits in corners till you pass, then shoots you in the back. He never moves or learns to shoot, so he will always blow. For all he cares about in life's his kill-death ratio. Roll up and see the terrifying Ripper with his blade. His magic knife will end your life of one hit kills it's made. He'll lunge right through your bullets and he'll stab you in the toe. Then farewell to your controller, out the window it will go. It's the Call of Duty circus and it's coming to your town. We've diving, flying acrobats and such capricious clowns. So hook up to a server, grab a seat and gather round. 'Cause the Call of Duty...
Good morning. So, we're going to have a little look at the Slaughterhouse. Yesterday, I've got workers in the house at the moment, so I'm having a new bathroom put in. So there was lots of drilling and sawing yesterday, and I had a huge storm which stopped me from being around. Hi, Jegs on Twitch. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, I wanted to have a little look. Obviously, it's been out for a couple of days now. We've got the release was on the 10th. So 2 days back, we saw the first stats for the Slaughterhouse. But first, check out this. It's got to be said. So Eric Svensson is the painter behind the Slaughterhouse. So the Slaughterhouse is the new Grymkin Gargantuan. So the first Gargantuan that we've seen, and it's sculpted by is that Javier Irena? I'm not familiar with what else they've done for Privateer Press, but it's an amazing sort of super interesting sculpt. There's so much details to it. There's so much like gremlins hanging out the front, at the back, crawling out windows. Very much captures the crazy spooky house aesthetic. It is very Grymkin. I'm super impressed, both with the sculpt and with Eric's paint job. Eric's been doing this is his Instagram account, so feel free to head over. It's Eric_Swinson, and he's been doing. What have we got? We've got Karchev, Dolores, and if we go back, we can see a lot of stuff that he's been doing for Privateer Press. We've got the Living Covenant, some Monpok, some Riot Quest, more Monpok. His art's really good. It's just the new Failed Experiments from Crucible Guard, from their new range that's come out. So yeah, he's doing some amazing work. Between him and Angel Geraldez, Privateer Press have taken the artwork on the boxes and the new stuff to a crazy new level. So absolutely amazing. So the good stuff first, right? So I'm gonna start positive. I'm gonna be positive about it because it is it looks amazing. It's such a cool centerpiece to have on the table. The sculpt is amazing. It's gonna be an immense fun to paint, I imagine. And it comes in at $99, which is pretty decent. A lot of the Colossals and Gargantuans have crept up higher than that, I think. Certainly over here in the UK. And PP have done a big job in fixing a lot of the postage problems for Europe particularly. So it used to be you'd look at $40 to $60 extra, maybe more, with customs on top to get anything from Black Anchor. So they changed that around a little bit, but I do believe that it's about $10 now to get something like the house sent over to Europe, and I think less, about $5 to get a blister pack and stuff like that, so the smaller items, which is amazing. They've really made a big effort to sort that out, which has been a thorn in the European side for so long, of how much it costs to get things around. So a quick rundown through the insiders. They put it, obviously variant cast has arrived, which is great. So the remakes of Chrissa and Helena, the battle box casters have been redone, so they're nice. But the main thing is the Slaughterhouse. So this is very much going through the aesthetic a bit of the story, which is really nice to see. Like some of the fluff coming out. Here's the 3D render for it went to print, I guess. Which is basically the more wickedness happens in a house in one central place, it can like gather gremlins to it, and they basically just like make it solidify even more. That place of evil becomes a physical place of evil instead, and the house starts to gain sentience and slowly warps into the Slaughterhouse. So that's the idea, which is very Grymkin, to a point where it then picks itself up and goes running around. There's details of it for the new Iron Kingdoms RPG. It's a challenge rating 12 creature. I know in Requiem it's a lot closer to Dungeons and Dragons, which is what I know roleplay wise. But yeah, lovely piece of artwork, and yeah, I'd expect that to rip people apart. I've not really looked at the stats, like the abilities on here. If you're into Requiem, yeah, let me know. I've definitely got I'm definitely Requiem curious at the moment. I'd like to do an RPG on stream at some point. But I'll quickly go through the card and have a look, see what people think. So speed 5 is, I kind of like, yeah, I'd expect it to be 4 or 5. It's a giant house. Obviously it's straight out of a horror movie, so you can imagine it lumbering towards you. And then obviously the things that matter, strength 14, so for the power attacks. Mass 6 is a little bit sad for a 35 points. So 35 points. The 35 point Gargantuan. It's Mat 6, which is a little bit sad. Rat 5 for its gun. We'll come to it. And important part is it's a construct, which means that you can't heal it. You've got no healing in faction for constructs. So the only way it can heal is the objective or itself. And it's armor 20, so, and it's got, I think it's like 56 boxes, which is pretty good. And then we'll have a little look in a minute what's next. But I'm just going to jump out as when the workers come in. So back in a second, come and see what's next. Okay, there we go. So I needed to confirm the colours of some stuff with the decorators of the bathroom. So it's armor 20. It's like 36 boxes, so it's reasonably tanky, but like it's nothing to write home about. Like in a faction that's only got like one armor buff out of the death knell, it's not great. Obviously, it's got a mechanic. The mechanic. Well, I'll just read it from the front of the card. So, Rat 5. It's got a range 12, power 13 magical gun, which has got drag. So, if it hits you and damages you, it'll drag you in and it'll hit you when you get there. And then the melee attacks are the front door, which is a half-inch reach, which is very sad, but it's power 21, which is great. And then 2 limbs, which power 19, reach 2. So they've not got drag, they've got instead pull. So they pull you closer, but you don't get the free attack. That's the difference between pull and drag. In a world where Kruger's everywhere, people have got sturdy models, they've got the anchor from the objective. You can stick something just in front, especially like a high def infantry model. This guy's going to struggle to hit. So there's a lot to stop the pull and the drag, which is kind of sad. So like I said, it's an amazing looking model, but there's a lot of things design wise that's like a little bit lacking, I think. Like it's threat 10, right? So in a faction that's got access to a couple of casters who've got like a 2-inch threat extender for like beacon and the child can give you extra. We've got balance charge from the witch. A 10-inch threat you can get up to 12 on a huge point investment is really like lackluster to be. I didn't expect it to be fast, but so we'll go through this and then. I think I'll just go through what I think it could have had, what could have made it better. Because at the moment, I talked to like a lot of other players, and very much this is going to be like a centerpiece of an army where you're not bringing a competitive list, and it's not all about competition. Absolutely, it's not all about competition. Like I play like friendly games where I don't bring like the filth. Basically, I bring different things to play with newer players who want to be sort of challenged a little bit, but not like have their shit shoved in. So like for instance, I won't play like a strange bedfellows list against Duncan, who I'm teaching to play Warmachine. I was before lockdown. I play a bit of random everything in the conversions. The threat is one of the problems. So I think I'd like to have seen that with the tree limbs. Like they're tree limbs, right? 2-inch reach. That could have easily been 3 or 4, even 4 inches during its activation, and like takes it to like a respectable 12-inch, 14 if you buff it, which is like okay. It's nothing to write home about. It's not like the scary levels that some Gargantuan Colossals get to. I think that would be like a simple, nice tweak. And obviously, like it's kind of tanky, right? So we don't really look at this. So it's got cram inside as this little ability where models destroyed or removed from play within 2 inches. It immediately removes D3 damage points, and then can spend corpses from other faction models within 2 to remove D3 damage points per corpse, which is great, but it means you've got to be taking more support models, and you'll be using the support models resources that you're taking the support models to use. So it kind of means that your 35 point front doors 21, right? Josh, front doors 21 and the trees are 19. It means that basically you've got to take extra support models that you might not want to take. It means like Dark Menagerie is like a little bit harder. You've just got to take off like the beasts that really need them, or the corpse cart that really needs them. If you take it in Bump in the Night, you're basically stealing rerolls off the Grave Ghouls, or you're taking Grave Ghouls just to heal it, which isn't great, especially because Grave Ghouls' corpse collection is only like 5 inches. So that's a little bit sad, especially because it's a construct, you can't heal it. It's Fury 5, which is great, like, and it can't Frenzy because it's construct. But yeah, wild-wise, it's really cool. It's got the same escaping rule that Weird Wendell's got, so when it dies, it spawns Gremlin Swarm, and it's RFP, which is just funky, right? It's kind of cool. Doesn't really do a huge amount, and it's got, like I said, a reasonable amount of damage boxes. But there's Colossals and Gargantuans with over 60 boxes that can get much higher armor. So I don't think you put it in like a tanky situation. It's meant to be pretty tanky, and I'd expect it to be. So, so I think, like I said, the things I changed is we'd put on an extra inch or 2 to the tree limbs, It could be just during its activation, so you have to worry about like how far it extends otherwise, and make sure the tree limbs are magic, because like surely this entire thing is a magical tree, this magical house with a tree sort of coming out of it. I'd like to see it more tanky. I'd like to see that be like the big thing, because at the moment it's going to basically get debuffed really easily and probably just shot to death before it gets to do anything. Like even in Grymkin, it's not too hard to come across grievous runes, or not grievous runes I suppose, because it's Gargantuan, but like the no heal, like an aura of no heal. You stick a Void Archon next to it and then you just shoot it to death. Someone shield guards onto a Crabbit to kill it. That's great. You still can't proc sacrifice. It dies. It's done. The amount of concentrated fire that you've got in the game at the moment, killing a Colossal or a Gargantuan in a turn when you've got the resources for it, isn't like it's pretty trivial. I think I'd change it. I think there's 2 ways to change it. You could go like the simple way of just giving it hyper regen for a start, so it's not resource hugging from everyone else, and give it like Impervious Flesh. It's a building. I think that would make it a lot tankier for like the little chip damage that needs to go in wouldn't be able to. So you need to like divert like proper resources to take it down, and that's kind of cool. That make it very tanky. Or again, taking hyper regen because you can't heal it otherwise. You've just got your objective basically, and giving it something like Bone Picker and Death Powered from the Skin and Bones. So let it gather corpses and get corpses, but up to 3, and then have like +1 to its arm and its strength per corpse. So exactly like Skin and Bones. So obviously, the more corpses the house gathers, the angrier it gets, the stronger it gets. Like 100% like ties in with the fluff in my idea. Like you could go as far as giving it the death knells, like bring out your dead, but I think 5 corpses is a bit too much, even if you just restrict it to like armor buff. Like taking up to armor 23 without the death knell, I think is enough to make it tanky. And you might end up not taking the death knell with it because obviously how much it takes up on the board. So that's that element taken. And then let's look at the gun. Rat 5 on a range 12 gun that it can boost, but that's it. It's got one shot and it's done. If it doesn't damage, it doesn't drag. So if you're fighting against trolls or minions with Junior Narcons, it isn't going to drag something, or most likely. If you're playing against anything with a Hermit, you can go, right, that's my key model, I don't want you to eat it, it's not going to get dragged. If you're just up against this model in a Grymkin list, like you probably just pick up, if you're getting from the scenario, you just get the anchor objective and you go, I'll just negate your gun. It's just then like an average gun, a boostable gun. So easy fixes, I think. It's not hard. You give it dual attack straight away. Just give it dual attack and probably give it a reload one. Just got to pay for another shot, but it gets an option. You could give it like same like abilities that the Witchwood's guns got. So Witchwood's, again, which aren't really used, but because they've got crap guns. But you give it like I think the Witchwoods have got Hunter and Black Penny, which makes Rat 5 a little bit easier to swallow. Lets it actually hit some stuff, but give it like some options. Because this is meant to be like a cool, really interesting like fluff piece essentially that's become a crazy good model on the table, and you want people to take it. So in my mind, I haven't think about it like what you could do. I think you just give it like 3 different shot types and just choose one per shot. So you keep the Porchlight as it is, the range 12, power 13 with drag. It's fine. Obviously, if you've got 2 shots, it's a little bit better. If you've got like the buff from the Witchwood, even better. And then you give it like a beacon spray, so it's got a bit of support for the beasts around it. Because obviously you're going to be spending a big chunky army on this. Like this is basically 3 clockatresses. So you give them an option of a beacon spray, which means it's more likely to hit. So maybe you have to have the spray and you don't have like Hunter and Black Penny on the normal shot, and you just rely on the spray if you want to remove spot things. And then give it like a mischief shot, right? It's a crazy evil house bursting with gremlins, so give it a gremlin gun. So give it a mischief based gun, so you could keep it the same range 12, So let it shoot. If it hits construct, on a 1 it gives them -2 speed, on a 2 it gives them -2 to hit, on a 3 it gives them -2 to damage. I think that actually gives it like a lot of more, a bit of utility. It can use its gun and actually do some stuff. You can get into combat and use its gun, and yeah, just a little bit more tankiness, a bit more extension to its threat. I don't think that goes crazy. If you wanted to really work around like the house element that is literally bursting with Grymkin creatures inside, you add some sort of like reinforcement element, so like literally reinforcement or hellhole, like or Witch's Got, where it'll bring back like D3 troopers a turn, or you give it like an option where a little bit like Dreamer, where you like if you kill a model like once a turn, you can replace it with a Gremlin Swarm. If it's like a, so basically like it maybe just in melee, so it's not so oppressive. But yeah, I think there's lots of potential, but at the moment the potential is it's an amazing model. You're going to want to have it on your shelf, you're going to want to paint it, and you want to have it for friendly games, but I don't think it's got really anywhere it fits currently that I can think, and as well, like a lot of people I've talked to that can think if you've got a competitive Grymkin list, it's not going to get put down, which is really sad. Like I was super looking forward to this. I think this and Isaiah Dread Harvester have been like a little bit let down for rules wise, where they could have done so much more, and it's got to basically be on par with new releases. You know, if you go look at what we've got in the last year, we've got Gatsby, very strong, maybe a little bit too strong, but strong. We've got Scythe, very strong. Obviously, if she misses a shot, she's done though. Kogan, Malvin, like some of these may be a little bit overtuned, but you need to be at least like just below them rather than so far below them that you're not going to pick it up. Like I would love to paint this model, but I won't be buying it, I won't be picking it up, and you know, as it is, it's going to be like down the list somewhere because it just needs too much more. So hopefully that stuff gets taken into consideration. Obviously it's brand new, they've just released the rules. By the time people start getting models from Black Anchor, it might be that there's tweaks, that'd be fantastic, or it might be that, you know, in a month or two's time, PP realise that they've fallen short a bit and it's not really competitive enough to put on the table, not just for competitive games but to compete with other stuff in the faction dynamic, and we'll see little tweaks. Yeah, I don't think it needs a huge amount, but yeah, a little bit more threat, a little bit more tankiness, and certainly a little bit of work on the gun to give it some options and to let it do something. So yeah, so that's my thoughts, my first look at the Slaughterhouse. But yeah, I definitely want one to paint, but my painting list is long enough as it is. So if it was a really good model rules wise, it'd jump up the queue. But as it stands, it's gonna wait. So let me know what you think. It'd be super interesting to see. I know there was like a lot of hype about people wanting to buy it straight away. Like, look at it; it looks fantastic. Just go back to Eric's page, and where was it? Look at it. It's just like the paint job, the sculpt. What is not to love, like physically, about the model? It is like perfect, like for the aesthetic of Grymkin. And yeah, I love it. Everything about it, I love it, except for the rules. So hopefully I'll get tweaked in time. And I think until then, I think it's going to be a bit down the list of Grymkin plays to pick up. But we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna jump away, get some stuff done, and then try and get a game on stream for the afternoon. So I'll catch you later. Thanks very much for supporting me, everyone, as well. We got up to 100 on YouTube, so the channel is now like, you know, youtube.com/c/KSpawnGaming. So I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll get some games in this afternoon. Right, catch you later. Bye.